Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone Rule Well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work concerning truth. Um, yeah. So, I stumbled upon, I was watching a video, they mentioned this book, and I was thinking it's kind of hilarious, because it's really, it really highlights how these elites are utilizing this pandemic situation to basically getting what they desire, which is what their new world order. That's really what they're looking to get in, man. And you can see it's progressing to them being able to achieve their aims, man. Well, at least as far as the Lord's gonna let it go, because it says when they're about to fill their belly, then that's when the Lord's gonna come against them. So with what do you call it? So with this book, I'll read a little bit. It's from my website. So it says it's a Sunday Times bestseller. A State of Fear by Laura Dodsworth. It says, A State of Fear, how the UK government weaponized fear during the C-19 pandemic. This is a book about fear of a V, fear of death, fear of losing our jobs, our democracy, our human connections, our health, and our minds. It's also about how the government weaponized our fear against us, supposedly in our best interests, until we were the most frightened country in Europe. Fear is the most powerful emotion hardwired into humans. Fear is part of our evolutionary success. Pick out the bones. But that also makes it one of the most powerful tools in the behavioral psychology toolbox, and has been used to manipulate and control people during the pandemic. Yeah, so so this is what, in one of the most extraordinary documents ever revealed to the British public, the behavioural scientists advising the government said that a substantial number of people did not feel threatened enough by C-19 to follow the rules. They advised the government to increase our sense of personal threat to scare us into submission. So that's the thing, is that's the average person, they're just out here thinking, the government has their best interests at heart, which they ain't got a clue what's going on. They're just out here in the world. All they know is this, and all they really can try and deal with when they're dealing with the world is just the carnal, man. They're stuck here in the carnal. And they realize, as far as the government goes, they hold such an overwhelming amount of power over them that they don't even they can't even deal with any kind of thought of them utilizing that in a negative manner, man. So they're sitting there, even though these guys have been voting Labour for the last 20 years. And they're thinking Boris Johnson is a dunce, he's an idiot, he's unfit, blah blah blah. They're gonna follow everything he says, because for them they're just no, but it's obviously they care, But hey, that's what what's it? What did they just say? These these think tanks, these groups that these guys at the top utilize. They're looking at psychology of the people and how to get what they desire from them. And having the people bugged out. And the thing is especially in the UK, these guys have been cornered mentally. They're destroyed out here, man. People out here, it's how many what is it today? Today's the 3rd. So it's just over 2 weeks till all the restrictions are meant to lift. And people are still I don't know, it's so, I can't, it's really just going to be, people are still in abject terror, man, of what's going on. People have been successfully bugged out. But that's why, because, Esau, he's done his research. He knows how to, get the people's minds. So let me read a bit more, and I'll switch to because she's got an article as well. So it says, but why did the government deliberately frighten us, and how? And it's funny as well because that's just out there like that was used uh, rather than, so it's not just about the facts or or just safety. They're just saying, oh, it's a matter of getting people to follow the rules, and that's the thing is, it's about control. That's what's been said from the jump. It's about control, and what does that reveal? That was the objective, control. So it says, why did the government deliberately frighten us, and how has this affected us as individuals and as a country? Who is involved in the decision making that affects our lives? How are behavioral science and nudge theory being used to subliminally manipulate us? How does the media leverage fear? How are the real risks? No, what are the real risks to our well-being? Yeah, so that's the thing, is no one actually is dealing with actually looking at what it is. They're just saying like, oh well, look, it's XYZ. Like I remember ages ago, I don't even know, it's ages ago they had what the fuck was it called? So what was it? The oh yeah, they basically said that the impact, like the masks had almost no impact on protecting against the sea, and social distancing as well. They said there'd been no scientific studies that social distancing worked. But that's the thing, is things just got thrown out with no backing. And because people were bugged out and thinking like, oh no, oh shit, how are we gonna, what's gonna happen? Oh no, people have been put in that state where they didn't know what, they're just thinking like, oh, everyone, is everyone just gonna die? It's all of humanity just about to end. So that's why anything can get pushed out, by the government as a solution. Because why? Because people are already in a state where they're just thinking like, nah, this is too terrifying. And that's how Esau gets down. Esau knows what he's doing. Because the same thing with how he utilizes these false flags, man. He'll basically just be like, well, you got laws that come in. The big one is the Patriot Act, because from off the back of that, it's like anyone in America, it's a wrap, man. You for any justification, you're right to suspend it. All that Constitution that they glory and they sit in and they're like, oh, I'm an American, blah blah blah, free man, da da da, all that they push out. It's hey, look, if it's so desired, that shit's doesn't is not even gonna be a matter. Like that's not even gonna be a factor. That's not even gonna factor in. Because why? They've got that law through, and it's been maintained by everyone afterwards that followed. When Obeezy came in, everyone was like, "Oh, it's Obama, it's blah blah blah." The first way he cares about. No, he didn't. He continued to what do you call it? Obama continued to what do you call it, man? To continue that same to renew the what do you call it, the Patriot Act that was meant to be temporary. So it's same thing, man. Same shit. So this is on the Mail Online. It says, Laura Dodsworth, the end is clearly in view for Britain, yet much of our population continues to live in fear, even those who have been vaccinated. Why is this? So at the moment when the Indian variant of C19 appears to be throwing our plans into doubt once again, and this is done before, I think they pushed it back as well. But everyone's pretty much suspecting. So it says, take for example the fact that there is no evidence of this or any other mutation of the V escaping the vaccines, or the fact that 50 million most vulnerable adults in the country have already been jabbed and are at very little risk of hospitalization. The real world evidence shows it clearly. or that thanks partly to the vaccinations, the number of deaths continue to fall. Obviously, that's what they're looking to get out of it. But the main thing is the control, because that's why it's like, regardless of whatever's been presented as solution going out, it's still then gonna be like the system of how ESOL runs things has been changed. It's not just gonna go back to how it was like 2019 and previously. Now that they've got the people's minds in a certain place, and they've basically changed everything. They've brought in this new normal, and everyone's eating it, and everyone's clamoring for it. Why? Because they're still living in terror, man. People are still just like, if you out somewhere and you ain't wearing a mask, they're looking at you like you're killing me. But, people are crazy, man. Like their minds have been got. So, let me skip down because I think there was So yeah, it says one disturbing answer is this: our own government has systematically weaponized fear against us, supposedly in our best interests, until we became one of the most frightening countries in the world. Aided by a group of compliant scientists, those in charge of us have used a range of different weapons, have distorted statistics to a misleading adverts on national television in order to manipulate the population into doing as they think best. The messaging has been relentless, all of it gloomy, some of it terrifying. These adverts warning us not to kill Granny, to tours of a hospital mortuary on national television news. Yeah. So it's basically just been just pushing out the vibration of like, if this is all that is gonna end, man. People are just in a mindset where they're just like, damn, if you don't get down with the program, it's over, man. Everything ends. And that's really a mindset like the people are in, man. They're just like, oh yeah, no, we need to make sure it's just completely over. But then you got Boris saying that you need to just move forward living with C. Why? Because all this that's been brought in off the back of off the back of this pandemic, it's not going anywhere. It's gonna be maintained. And that's why they're even talking about the booster shots in September. It's the whole way that shit's been running now, and how easily ESOL can push through things onto the people. He's not gonna let that go. He's gonna maintain it. So let me read this. Ezekiel 28:3 says, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore thus saith the Most High Power, because thou hast set thine heart as a heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness." Yeah, so all this wisdom, all the ESOL's basically, that's the thing is ESOL's done his research, he's looked into, he knows how to psychologically manipulate and get people bugged out, man. In this, in this system, man. He knows how he's developed his knowledge in these fields. That's why he has these think tanks. He has all these different organizations basically doing research and looking into these things, so he can push things out how he desires, man, and measure like, okay, well, how people going to respond to this, and vice versa. So what was that other one? This is the one. So Isaiah 29:15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Yeah, Esau does his works in the dark. He does it behind closed doors. He does it in these private locations where these elites gather. They get together and they sit down and they reason and discourse about, you know, their plans, how they're going to execute them, how they're going to get them out in the world. Because what that's a big part of what Esau's looking to do. Esau's looking to get his plans in, get his achieve you know, what ends he wants. And this is, it's really like that. Who see of us, who know of us. That's really how it gets down. When you get to these these banking elites that are at the top, people don't really know. People don't really know them. You got a few people talking about them, but by and large, in the general public, they're thinking about you know, they're thinking about Boris Johnson, Joe Biden, you know, the guys that are on the TV, the guys who faces you see, the guys giving speeches, but that's the thing is what these you know, elites are scheming. They know the truth of the scriptures. They're scheming to try and come against prophecy, man. Which prophecy is you can see it popping off before your very eyes, man. And that's why it's they've, you know, these guys are trying to utilize, trying to get what they want in, man. But this is about the plans of Yahweh Bar Shem Yahushua. So this is what, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Yeah, so all Esau's done. Esau's got everyone here bugged out. He's flipping everything on his head. He's got a whole society based around just turning everything completely against the scriptures. And, you know, the highest form of what Esau wants to do with that is have everyone, have himself set up as a most high. He wants to be the God on earth, and have everyone else underneath him, in a state where they're basically subservient. He's got them all chipped. They've all got that mark, you know, that insertable microchip underneath the skin within them, and he has total control over what they say and do, man. He's trying to be like the Most High, where the Most High has total control over what goes on down here. Okay, so let's get this. Revelation 12:12 says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that ye have but a short time. Yeah, Esau's coming down with that great wrath. That's why that's why his what do you call it? His because he knows there's that's why he's not gonna let go of the current status quo that he's set up. Because why? This leads into how is, you know, the things that you want to get in, man, on a higher level, man. The things that he's aiming for, he's striving to achieve. He's looking to get these things in, man. He ain't looking to let up. He ain't looking to just be, okay, we're just gonna go back. No, he's looking to accelerate, man. And it's really about prophecy. When you do a prophecy, the prophecies of scriptures, this, you know, it says in what's it called? In Matthew 24, that except those days be shortened, there'll be no flesh left to be saved. So yeah, the hey, it's gonna accelerate, it's gonna hasten, and it's a what? The, you know, the days being shortened because this thing's getting ready to be executed, man. Alright, go finish. So Isaiah 47, and 10, it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. And that's really what all these things that Esau's doing. He's basically trying to emulate the Most High. He's really out here thinking he's gonna be able to just, you know, pull these plans off, and like the Lord ain't gonna have what he the Lord ain't gonna have what he you know, has had in works, you know, has had prophesied, really has had set up since before the world was made, come to pass. You know, and Esau in the 11th hour of the 11th hour is just gonna come out and flip everything on his head, and he's gonna become the chosen. That ain't gonna be how it goes down. But he's really out here because, you know, because of all the riches he's been able to amass, all the wisdom, all the development he's been able to do, all the weaponry he's been able to get, all the dominion over the earth he's been able to have, and how it's run, and the Lord ain't come in and just chopped it. because that's you know that's what that's mainly because of prophecy. He's bound by his word. The word's gone out of what's gonna have to go down in the end times. Because of that, what do you call it? Uh, because of that, he's really he's really prideful, just thinking like he's thinking it's all gonna work out. But what? It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Yeah, all that. That's why it's going to be a shock, because as far as Esau's concerned, these elites, these guys have their they've got their little hidden nests, they've got little Elysiums under the ocean, in their bunkers, up in the heavens. These guys have basically things have been going smooth for them for a long while. So it's going to be sudden, like, oh, wait, what? They're like, wait, he really is coming to save these people, man. That's why it's going to be like Hosea 1, where it's just like, yo, shall be known, these are sons of the living power. Everyone's going to be like, wait, these guys are actually, like, they're actually being saved. Like, these guys have just been nobodies in the society for the longest. Like, these guys are actually the ones that are they're getting saved. It says, stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast laboured from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Yeah, and that's the thing. Those witchcrafts, those sorceries, these are things Esau's, he's labouring and he's doing his sacrifices. He's basically getting into the left hand side heavy, and what he's basically achieving, he's what is it? Attaining, certain things are pulling off, man. He's achieving certain things through these powers, so that's why he's really like he's emboldened it, man. All that Esau's been doing, it's been working, but that's only up to the point. There's the bounds set on Esau's kingdom. Esau's kingdom is gonna run to a certain extent, then it's a wrap, and from then it's over. So yeah. But yeah, I leave it. Esau, this guy, he really out here thinking he's wise and cunning, which to a certain extent he is within wickedness, man, within lies, within deception. But that's only gonna run so far, because after this, once the time limit on that is done, it's a wrap. And Yahushua is gonna make his return. He's gonna completely dominate the earth, grab all the crowns, all the dominions are going to be done away with. Then it's over, man. All this present bullshit that's going down. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.